Hey folks, I'm going to go through the answers to homework from the other day like this. So we'll answer our questions 1 through 4. First one, you've got two resistors that are in series with each other, one right after the other. And it gives you that the voltage from the battery is 12. It gives you resistor 1 is 4 ohms, and resistor 2 is 8 ohms. And it wants you to fill in the rest of the table. So, the total resistance, letter F, since R1 and R2 are right in a row, you can just add them together. So the total would be 8 plus 4, or 12 ohms. Then we know that voltage equals current times resistance. So if I have a voltage of 12 total, and a resistance of 12 total, 12 divided by 12, to get current would be 1 amp. And there's 1 amp of current going around our circuit. And that 1 amp has to go through resistor 1 and resistor 2. So they both have 1 amp of current. One of our rules for series is that they have the same current. And then to get the voltages A and B, I could do resistance times current to get voltage. So 4 times 1 is 4, and 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, we'll scroll down here to number 2. Same idea. Got a 20 volts for R1. We've got 10 amps through R2. We've got 5 ohms for R3. And we have 10 ohms of resistance total. First thing we know is that in series, which all three of these are, the current has to all be the same. So we've got 10 amps of current through R3 and R1 and the total. Then we can do V equals I times R. By the way, I, when I keep saying I, current, the symbol for current is I. So if I do 10 times 10 for the bottom row, that gives me 100 volts total. I can do 5 times 10 to get 50 volts for R3. I can do 20 divided by 10 to get the resistance at R1. That would be 2. I have a total resistance of 10, and if I know they're all in series, that means they need to just add up to 10. So 2 plus H plus 5 gives you 10. So 10 minus 2 and 5 gives you 3 ohms for H. And 3 times 10 gives you 30 volts, which all of our voltages add up to 100 as well. Number 3, now we have a parallel circuit. So we're given a 24 volts source, 4 ohms and 6 ohms. So the nice thing is with these parallel resistors, they're going to have the same voltage as the battery. So they're both going to be 24 volts. And we can use V equals I times R to get the other letters. So 24 divided by 4 is 6 amps. 24 divided by 6 is 4 amps. And our currents together need to add up to the total. So 6 plus 4 gives you 10 amps. And V equals I times R to get F. 24 divided by 10 is 2.4. Last but not least, number 4, we're using bulbs instead of resistors. That changes nothing. The numbers that were given, the current through bulb 1 is 1 amp. So 1 amp here. We've got resistor, bulb 2 is 8 ohms. Bulb 3 is 8 volts. And 2 amps of current. And we have to find everything else. So all of our bulbs are parallel to the battery, which means they all have the same voltage as the battery, so they're all going to be 8 volts. So 8, 8, 8. And then V equals I times R. So 8 divided by 1 is 8 ohms for bulb 1. 8 divided by 8 is 1 amp for bulb 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4 ohms for bulb 3. And since we know current needs to add up to the total for parallel, if I have 1 amp through bulb 1, 1 amp through bulb 2, and 2 amps through bulb 3, when those all come back together to go through the battery, you add them up. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4 amps. 8 divided by 4 is 2 ohms.